TV, it was demonstrated. These people refer to it as the fishtail maneuver. So not only do I have police harassment, they do something where they shine these lights on me at night wherever I go, just rudely shine lights. And all of these things started happening to me after this incident with this attorney. I do believe that those high-powered attorneys down there in Washington, D.C. made a phone call, had me put on some kind of a list. Yep. I don't know what it is. It may be that they have me turned in as for like a terrorist or something like that.
Yep.
But running alongside of what appears to be something, quote unquote, official, alongside that, there is running this thug group. It's like they are just criminals. I do believe that they pay people. I believe that the money that they use to do this is coming out of Homeland Security. I believe that I am implanted, and that not only am I receiving all of these bodily assaults, and some of them, I could tell you some things that would make the hair stand up on the back of your neck, but I'm not going to go into that because I don't want that stuff. I think that this is a new person who is working on me. I'm not going to go into that, but alongside with having all of these weird body things happen to me, when I walk out my door, I'm stalked. And the reason that I believe that this stalking is not truly government is because these jokers want you to know that you are being stalked. I truly believe that if you're under some kind of surveillance, they're going to try their best not to make themselves known. In my case, that is what these people do. So, and then also, my father, I was taking care of my dad. My dad began to exhibit signs of being targeted. He started to exhibit the same things as me, not as frequently, but Daddy started. I could see certain things happening to him. Well, my dad died 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure if that's the result of targeting, because my father was 87 with a lot of problems. However, I do know that my father was targeted. So if he died as a result of targeting, and he had a pacemaker, surely to send in different frequencies and things like that were coming, it appeared to me like through the window, through the wall. I mean, I have had some experiences. Surely that kind of stuff would affect my father in his pacemaker. So in a way, my dad has since died. And in a way, I sometimes think, well, maybe that's a good thing, because it appears that they were going to start working on him real good. So I do believe that there are other members of my family who are targeted, and I'm not going to go into the different situations of what has happened, but I do believe that once they target you, they will do other people in your family. So it appears I'm winding up right now, Derek. So it appears that there are people in high places who can have this stuff done to you covertly. You don't know anything about it, but it just appears in your life, and it's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. It has affected my belief in a God who will protect me. It messes with every aspect of your life. So,
hey, Derek, it's Richard.
I just want to just to say that us TIs, us targeted individuals, we are truly hurting, and we need someone to help us. Thank you.
Hey, Derek, do you mind if I make a comment really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed, and is that they physically tried to scare me at first, and none of that was working. They tried to make it look like I did something wrong, but that wasn't working because everybody knew me. And then they went to try to do a loony thing, which that was never going to happen, but they tried it anyway. But one of the things that I've noticed that 90% of everything they do is when you're by yourself. And one thing that I can recommend is make sure you're always with somebody. I know that's tough, but if you could live with someone, it's nothing like fearing. At the beginning of this, I was living by myself in the condo, and I was like, no problem. But the only thought that crossed my mind, even though I knew a lot of people, was that what if they decide to kick the door down and throw something in there it's not mine. So, if you're by yourself, that's when they target you the most. And I agree with you. It's called gang stalking. I can tell you, it just happened yesterday. Everywhere I go, I can tell you, I've seen 2 or 3 of the same people everywhere. And they're not law enforcement. They're your average, everyday Joe Blow person, males, females. Mostly where I live, I've seen mostly all Hispanics. I've seen the same 2 or 3 ladies, coffee shop, no matter what. And basically their job is to observe, hear, and report back to whoever's paying them. These people aren't doing this for free.
That's right.
These people aren't doing this for free. I think some of them may be doing it because they're probably getting threatened with deportation, because I've seen a lot of Hispanics as if they were barely in the U.S. type stuff. Because what I was doing when this all started, my company is called Elite Attorney Service, and that's what I did was surveillance. And that's when I realized I was under surveillance, and I went to ask questions. So that's what I did. So I'm able to recognize it and see it right away. So that's what they do. They're going to send, people to poke holes in your tires and do all that stuff. And it hasn't happened to me, but it's just being aware when you're by yourself, that's when the most they're going to come after you. And to talk about your dad, I'm going to tell you, I was playing football, pickup game on the weekend in January. I twisted my ankle, and usually I heal pretty quickly, but, like 2-3 months went by. Like, what is going on? And a friend of mine said, dude, your ankle's still messed up? And I said, yeah, it is. Interesting enough, as it started to heal, I started to feel like something was hitting it. And one of the things if you do your research on this stuff, stay away from windows. Don't have anybody next to a window, because that's the most easiest way for the directed energy weapons to hit you. And we already know what entity possessed those type of weapons, which agencies, without going into it. But I know for a fact, because I have a very sensitive body, and I said, something's hidden right there on that spot. And maybe that's what David was talking about earlier, but something was hitting me right on the injured tendon portion of my foot. And then when I would put my foot in what's called an ice bucket, athletes will usually do that. We twist the ankle or something. When I put it in the bucket, that would go away. So then I start covering that foot every single night as I slept with something. I don't want to say what it was. Do you know within 2 weeks that foot healed like it was supposed to? So unbeknownst to me, something was keeping that foot injured so that I couldn't move around like I wanted to move around. So I believe your story. I've seen it all. I've seen everything that you've described and talked about. I've seen what David's talked about. But the one thing I did do, I only told select people. As a matter of fact, the person that scanned me when I mentioned something about something that I now know was a holograph, he says, you know what, ignore that stuff. That's what they want you to do. They want you to go around telling people that you're seeing this stuff so people look crazy. So even if I see it, I just ignore it, because that's what they want. They want to paint everybody and everyone in the town to think you're some fruit. Like in my case, I'm a fruit. At least they thought that anyway, that I was running around trying to get x-rays of my kids after they got scanned. Well, that's because I had already did my research before I went down to have them scanned for RFIDs, and I know behaviors. I've worked with that population, at-risk kids, for years. I know behaviors, and I know my kids, so I wasn't going to let anybody tell me any different, that something wasn't wrong with my kids that was abnormal. So, whether they wanted to paint me a crazy guy walking around trying to get doctors to read my x-rays or not, I did it. So don't let anybody tell you you're wrong about what you're seeing and what's happening, because it's all real. And the individuals that are saying that are people that have never done the research or been a victim.
Well,
okay.
I would like to, Darren,
Darren,
if I could just interject that, no, you don't have to be by yourself. I have lived, with my dad, but then my sister and my brother also lived here. I was targeted just the same. Things happened to my car and to my house just the same. So it doesn't matter whether you are living with someone or if you're by yourself. It could be more frightening if you're by yourself.
But it doesn't make a difference. In my case, it hasn't made a difference.
Okay, that sounds. Excuse me, that sounds fine. Let me ask if Connie is here yet.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I was asking for Connie Marshall if she has showed up. I guess she hasn't. Okay, well,
what's the last four numbers?
3449.
No, they have not checked in.
She has not. Wow, that's weird. I hope she's okay. Okay, we'll go on to our next speaker then. Okay, our next speaker is from Texas. He is a minister, a business owner for 14 years, public speaker, and a former pastor for 14 years. Bobby Bennett.
Hello, how are you? How is everyone?
Well,
they're all fine. They're waiting.
Good
they're
as
waiting
can
for
be
you to
expected.
speak.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, they can.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
One of the just want to start off by saying I'm glad and honored that I can be of assistance and can help in any kind of way. And I just want to say, you know, as the lady just that was speaking before me, you know, her dad just died, and I can kind of agree with what she says about that. As far as, you know, when you think back over certain things that has happened to you in your life, and then you think back, you said, you know what, those are familiar circumstances that was happening in another family member in our life. So I agree with her on that, but I also agree with the young man that was also just speaking, the attorney that was just speaking, that they do target you more when you by yourself. You know, and like you said, they want you. It ain't like they're trying to keep this a secret or they're surveilling you in secret. They're doing it openly so that you can talk about it. And they do, and he did give a wise suggestion, is to always keep someone around you because they seem to target you more when you're by yourself. At least that's the case with what I've seen with women, and also myself on occasions, not when I'm out and about, but that's the case when I'm here at home. But some of the things that's been happening is, number one, they target, if you have children, as the attorney that just spoke, he said that his children, he thinks that they have been implanted from birth. They target your children. You know, if your children's going to school or wherever they're at, they're either being picked on or bullied. You know, in the case of, you know, sabotaging of business deals that you try to put together, that's a common thing. Sabotaging your finances, sending you overpriced utility bills. And the lady was saying vandalism to our car, where they poke your tires or do certain things to your car. Is the instance with me for what I do. My vehicle is always with me around the clock, and when it's not, it's in the garage in my house, locked down. And if I go to the store, I generally take somebody with me where they're sitting in the car while I go in the store. I never leave my car alone. I try not to, at least. The other thing that I've experienced is when it comes to, you know, you having a reliable mechanic to work on your vehicles, as the lady was saying. You know, they do things to your cars. Your cars are always breaking down. You're always having vehicle troubles. It seems like that whenever you do get a mechanic that's good or try to get close to you, it seems that the mechanic is either never available or he can't take care of you. I've even had one instance where a guy This was in Austin in 2005. I was trying to minister to this guy, trying to get him to go to our church. And he was a mechanic. He owned his own mechanic shop. And, he had helped me out working on my cars. I left my cars in the garage downstairs at my house. And I went to jump one car with the other one. We had the doors open. Next thing you know, something fried on both cars. It did something to both batteries. So this guy came around, helped me out, and he took care of me. Next thing you know, about a week later, the guy all of a sudden committed suicide in his shop, and he ended up dead. So those are some of the things that we've been experiencing as the lady and the young gentleman that was speaking before me, as a targeted individual. Now that I'm thinking back, it was a police officer that he was a really nice guy. He was a Christian guy, and he was a white guy, and I'm a black male. And I had gotten into some trouble back in '89. This was when I was younger. And I remember him telling me he would always stop by my house to see how I was doing, and I was always in trouble. And I remember him coming to me and telling me, he said, "Man, walk outside with me." And I went outside with him, and he took me in my garage, and he told me, he says, I'm just letting you know, they are going to be watching you for the rest of your life. Yeah. And he never told me who the they was, which I did a FOIA request. And Will County is the ones, and the state police, Illinois State Police is the ones that gave my name over to what I believe is the NSA. And sure enough, that officer ended up getting killed probably about 4 to 5 years later. He died from a traffic stop. So I mean, this stuff is crazy. And she's saying some of these are government officials. I believe that they are, and some of them I believe that they are contractors that's hired by government officials to carry out these schemes. That's why a lot of government officials, they tell you, like say the CIA, for instance, they'll tell you, well, we don't operate in the United States. Yeah, you probably don't, but you ain't saying that you don't hire contractors that can operate in the United States to do your dirty work, do you? So that's how a lot of these intelligence agencies are getting around saying that they don't do such and such or do such and such. It's because they're using these contractors to do their dirty work. And on several instances, I do know this for a fact that, when I would go and take my wife to work, there's a security guard there. And I don't know if you guys know the infrastructure on how Homeland Security works, but I do. And this guy literally told me, I said, why is it that every time I come here, you just happen to come out and pay me special attention and watch me? And he finally, I said, was it Will County? He was like, no. I said, Homeland Security told you to do this. And he told me yes. So the main people that's behind this, number one, the main ones before Homeland Security was even Homeland Security in 2003. I believe it was the NSA and the CIA. And I think that they're just layering behind Homeland Security to do their dirty work, which Homeland Security works with the local police, the sheriffs and the local police across the board through the fusion centers. So, I mean, if you guys do the study, you can go to ACLU or whatnot and look at how they operate. They got the infrastructure on there. But through these fusion centers, they have nationwide networks where, and they have nationwide networks where even private contractors can communicate back and forth with the intelligence agencies. So, and as far as wherever you live, the federal guys, the Homeland Security, is the ones that's behind it, that's manipulating, saying that, telling the local police these different lies, these different stories that they're doing about individuals, and to your neighborhood. Whenever you move into a neighborhood, there's lies told about you, no matter where you move. And they're operating through these neighborhood watch systems that's ran by the sheriffs. So, it's information across the board. Private contractors, I will put my hand on the Bible on this. I had a guy back in Chicago before I moved out here to Texas. I was a detailer at the time, and I worked for him detailing some of his vehicles. And he called himself jokingly with me. And but little did he, and and forgive me, but I got to be honest. But I said some choice words. I mean, because he kind of got under my skin, and I said, he told me, he said, man, you're pretty hot. And I'm like, man, what do you mean by hot, man? I said, because I don't, do the gay thing. I've been married for 15 years. I said, I don't play that. He's like, no, man. He says the FBI and the CIA offered me $150,000 to watch you a year. And I said, you could tell the FBI and the CIA and Homeland Security and any other alphabet agency that you want to bring up. They can all kiss my what. So, after I said that, I said, you can do whatever you want to do. As long as you pay me and we ain't got no problems with you paying me, then, do what you got to do, man. And then after he said that, then he kind of cut off his business relations with me. And, as you get used to people trying to be your friends so that they can intentionally betray you, which is certain tactics that these people do. And it's nothing new. Just kind of learn to live with it and just move with it. But I seriously think Congress needs to write laws and open government agencies on implanting people without their knowledge. Kennedy was working on that before he passed away. But these are the things that's happening to everyday people. Anybody that voice or speak up, they become a target. That's just about it.
Hey, Dirk, you mind if I have another comment?
Okay. Why don't we? I think that Connie just arrived. So.
No, I've been here, but my phone was blocked or something, so I had to get the other phone. I was on the other phone for some time, and I heard you call my name, but I couldn't speak. You couldn't hear me.
What were the last four digits?
This phone I'm on now is 502-322-3449.
Okay, the 3449 was the number I was informed of, and that just appeared. So that's the line that I just opened up. All right, continue with the program.
I didn't know that. Okay, he asked me for your phone number. I didn't know. I didn't have that other number.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, let's see. If you want to go ahead and let me introduce Tim first, and then I'll let you go next. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. Tim, are you there?
What's the last four digits? They might be blocked out.
Okay. Do you have 9423?
No, they're not in.
Maybe he's not there. Okay, then. Well, Connie, you are up next, then.
Okay. My name is Connie.
I'll do a little introduction. I can do the introduction, or if you want to go ahead. Either way.
Go ahead.
Okay. Our next speaker is from Kentucky. She's the founder of Justice for All Citizens, and the website justiceforallcitizens.com. She's a former mayoral candidate for the city of Louisville, Kentucky. Ms. Connie Marshall.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes,
I hope. Okay. I became a target about 9 years ago, and before actually, but mainly 9 years ago. I was a victim of a hate crime. And everyone here in Louisville, Kentucky, federal, city, and state, covered up the crime. I was assaulted 3 times. I had a substance thrown on me that burned my skin. I'm better now, of course. Burned my skin. My hair fell out. I have a CD of my, a tape, a CD rather, of my coworkers discussing killing me, taking me to the KKK, how they want to ballpark a nigger, a house they like to go to because it's covered up all the way around, and a list that I've been placed on, and also a woman they handcuffed in the building. Now, I gave the FBI a copy of that CD. I hired my own forensic analyst here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I gave the FBI a copy. I gave the police a copy, gave everyone a copy, and nothing was done. It was covered up. Also, the guy that was with this group that threw the substance on me and sent me to the hospital 3 times, once by ambulance. They also threw bugs in my hair. I also overheard this guy stating to some of the white guys there, man, you got to get in this thing. This thing is bigger than the KKK. It's policemen, judges, doctors, everybody's in this thing. My uncle's in it, and he's a big-time official, and I think he said sheriff, but I didn't think anything about it at the time. I found out later that this guy, the last name of Yates, there's also a sheriff with the last name of Yates, an assistant deputy sheriff here in my town. And there's also a man that used to be with the United States Attorney's Office here with the last name of Yates, and he's now on our Metro Council. So my EEOC, my police department, my FBI, everybody covered up this hate crime. Now, there were other things that occurred as well, but mainly this hate crime. When I called the FBI several times trying to get assistance, 2 of the FBI people there told me that the crime was never sent to Washington. They said the FBI does not handle that. They don't make decisions on that. It was never sent to Washington. And my local FBI just dismissed the case, didn't do an investigation or anything. But, of course, this guy's last name was Yates, and I keep running into things like that. But to make a long story short, my information you can find on my website, www.justiceforallcitizens.com. And I know our stories probably sound a little far-fetched to you all, but to validate us, you can also go to the Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethical Issues, where a lot of us spoke on March the 1st, 2011, along with people across the United States that are being assaulted by directed energy weapons. So just go to http://bioethics.gov, and let me repeat that, http://bioethics.gov, click on March the 1st, click on videos, and click on comments number 10. And you will see myself along with some of the people that have spoken about their situation tonight, along with other people across the United States that are being attacked by these weapons. Now, I'm going to tell you just some of the ways that we are attacked, and this is what goes on in my life. Some of the things I've experienced are body overheating, body extremely cold, itching behind my eyes, burning my eyes. I now have blue circles around my eyes, and I'm a black woman with brown eyes, so I have blue circles around my eyes because my eyes have been attacked. seizures, heart pain, earaches, and assaults to my ears so severe that fluid. I can shake my head and hear the fluid in my ears sometimes. Swelling, headaches, involuntary movement of my limbs, hands, feet, fingers, arms, etc. They can move our arms, some of us. They can move our feet. They're trying to move my mouth. They're working on my face now. Computer transmission noises coming from my ears on a regular basis. I can hear just like a computer transmission noise you hear from a computer. It comes from my left ear on a regular basis. And specifically when I have these UAVs around my home, and I have them on camcorder, which I'm going to eventually put on my website and YouTube. So something has been put in my head that's transmitting through my ear to these things that show up at the same time every night. They're called unmanned air vehicles. Nobody's in them. They're operated by remote control or they're programmed, and you can look those up on the Internet. Extreme exhaustion, speeding and heart racing as if my heart is going to jump out of my chest. When they first started attacking me, my hair started coming out by the handfuls while I was in the shower. Mind paralysis, you're hypnotized or placed in a trance-type state. Tracked by an unmanned air vehicle or satellite. Everywhere I go, these things follow me. And once I get where I'm going, I'll get muscle spasms or frequencies in my ears to, I guess, they're making their contact or something. Extreme sleep deprivation. B2K, breast to skull. They talk to you. They can bypass your ears and talk to you inside of your head. And that technology's been around for a while, and I have the patents to that on my website, and I believe Derek does too. And my website is www.justiceforallcitizens.com. So a lot of people that are hearing voices are really hearing voices. They're not going crazy. We have that technology now, and it's being illegally used. Smelling sweet fragrances or chemical fragrances. I've heard a bomb go off in my car. I've heard a horn blow, which could have caused me to have an accident. Extreme muscle spasms and muscle cramps. I've been made to fall down. I used to play tennis and do things like that. I've always been an active person. Now I have to watch what I do because they can make me fall down if they want to. I don't have to trip over anything. Low-frequency noises in my home and high-frequency noises in my home. Sexual stimulation, and I hate to be graphic, but this is what they do to a lot of us women and men. Sexual stimulation inside our vaginas, also our butt. On a regular basis, even going to the bathroom, and I'm sorry to be graphic, but I'm telling you what's real. You can go to the bathroom, they'll wiggle my butt to let me know. They're watching me when I sit on the toilet. I'm watched in my house 24 hours a day. Being awakened by voice morphing in my bedroom, they can morph people that you have a relation with. They can sound just like them or sound like a family member. I've had assaults generating extreme pain to my hips and my arm, my right arm. Currently, because of my right arm, well, no, it's not because of my right arm, but my right arm, they assaulted so many times that I lost my range of motion. I have my range of motion now in my right arm pretty much, but not totally. Manipulation of face and speech. Now, while all this is going on, they'll sabotage your employment or your office. I had lines placed in my office as well, and I have a voicemail message from AT&T who put the lines in. I have bills where I was paying AT&T. AT&T put the lines in, and I have a voicemail message that says, we came out to service 449-7073, but the problem we have right now, Ms. Marshall, is 449-3912. Our records show that's not our line. We don't know what that line is, but yet I have bills where I've been paying AT&T. You'll find that on my website also. They will assault you anywhere that you go, church, anywhere you go. While all this is going on, they start off harassing you. When it first starts, your mail, your email, your faxes, your telephone, all these things are intercepted. Your telephone calls get cut off. Your phones don't work. I've had Global. I've had AT&T. I've had Insight. I've had every telephone company you can think of, including cell phones, and they intercept every phone. They'll intercept your internet. They'll intercept your emails. I've sent so many reports to IC3. You'll find those on my website also, where my emails and my websites and different things like that have been intercepted. Your electrical appliances. I've had computers destroyed, fax machines, air conditioners, dustbusters, DVD players, washer, dryer, switch on my furnace. They'll intercept and destroy all of your electrical appliances. There's nothing you can do about it. And you'll find the reports that I filed with our Louisville Gas and Electric Company regarding appliances and things being destroyed. You'll find those on my website, too, the actual reports. Currently what I have going on at my home, and Millicent can attest to this, she's seen some of it, and I think Sandra has too. They visited my home. I have these UAVs that station themselves outside my home every night. They look like stars. They look like big stars, and they sit over my garage. They sit over my home. It's just several of them. I have them on camcorder, and I plan on putting that on my website as well. And I think this is what's attacking me at night, are these UAVs that come every night at about the same time, and they leave at about the same time, or I think they leave. They may still be up there. But those are the type of things that I'm experiencing. They're also attacking my daughter and other family members, and anybody that you come in contact with or tries to assist you, they will lock onto that person and start making their life hard. They can make them lose their jobs. They can start attacking them. All of those things are what happens to people that try to assist you. And they have no mercy on children. They will attack children as well. Now, I also found in my bank account, because they mess up your finances and so forth, I found a document through my bank account that I had at Fifth Third. You'll find this on my website also, the document. You'll find the document. I found a document by accident. I was trying to get a loan from a finance company because my credit is so ruined from all of this. So Fifth Third was pulling documents for me to take to the finance company, and they accidentally gave me a document that had at the top, problem with Kentucky government. Check federal government paperwork in file before releasing information to anyone. That document's on my website. I have no criminal record. I've never committed any crimes, don't do drugs, nothing. But this is the type of life I've been forced to live. I have filed over 600 911 calls. I've had no investigation by the police, not one. I've had my birth certificate intercepted and changed. I tried to file a complaint regarding that, and the police refused to assist me. So those are the type of things that we experience. Oh, the other thing I wanted to state, too, is that they destroy your reputation. They'll start rumors about you. They'll try to destroy your reputation. They also try to isolate you. When you have people living with you, they can manipulate frequencies. That's all it is manipulating frequencies. And they can cause conflict between you and your family members or friends when you have someone living with you. You'll find you'll have arguments for no reason, different crazy things like that. They can do that even when you talk to someone on the phone. So those type of things they do as well. And you're stalked everywhere you go. They stalk you. And I'll just leave it at that for the moment because I can go on and on and on. But I ask you again to visit the Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethical Issues website because a lot of us did go there to speak on March the 1st. And I think they also went in May, but I don't know what that date is. Some of the other ones can tell you that. But I know the March the 1st video is there for you to see us speaking. http://bioethics.gov. Click on March the 1st, click on videos, and click on comments number 10. Thank you. Hello?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm missing a number, and the silence you hear is because that number is unseen. Derek, so you're not on the line at this time? Just type into the chat room because I can read what's going on. Okay. We're supposed to open up the phone lines for questions at this particular point in time. Harassment is typing, so I'm going to listen for a number. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So now, my statements as I have listened to this particular program, right? And one of my statements, because I do a program called Only in America, is dealing with young people surviving police stops, surviving the court system, how to navigate the court system. Anonymity. People have stated this time and time again on your particular broadcast. Anonymity is not our friend. So this particular program where you can reach out and talk with one another, have people who are in common with you, allow you to be able to speak without people calling you the insane, the crazy, the what have you. You have people who are in a common knowledge of what is taking place. So it allows you to at least be able to navigate what is happening to you without feeling the pressures of being called the insane, the crazy, and what have you. Okay, so with that, people of the board, I'm going to call out the last 4 digits, and then you'll be able to speak until I can find everyone and then get into the questions quickly. We have an hour, 13 minutes left. Okay, 9881. Who do I have? 9881. Okay, 9881 is not speaking. That is gone to mute. 0661.
I'm one of the panel.
Okay, great. Thank you. 1635.
Okay, that is me.
Okay. You're listening or part of the panel?
This is Derek.
Okay, Derek, great. Okay, Derek, take back over. Announce the next portion of your program, and I'm going to open it up for questions as you speak.
Okay, for this portion of the program, we are going to invite the callers, the listeners, to ask questions, make comments on the panel. And one of our panel members has been trying to get on the show. For some reason, he's invisible. So hopefully he'll make it on tonight. So if anyone has any questions...
Okay, what is his name and number?
Okay, his name is Tim White.
Uh-huh.
And his last 4 is 9423.
Okay. There's a number here, 1111, and I'm going to see if that's Tim White. Some people call him with star 82, and that will keep the number from showing. Okay, the number that is 1111. You can hear me now. Speak. Are you Tim White? Okay, then you will be dropped from the show because I cannot identify you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just open the lines up, and I'll go up and down the line for you to be able to answer any questions that may come about. There is a small chipping sound in the phone, and right now I can't isolate it. So we will have to manage through that particular little bit of noise. Okay, the first question, if you care to ask the question, comes from, and the questions have to be kept short because we do have a number of callers on the line. 8374, do you have a question?
Good evening. How are you? I would like to know what's the lady's name that just went off, and where is she calling from? Is she still on the line?
Most of the people are.
Yes,
I would like to know what is her name and where is she calling from?
Is she speaking to me, Connie Marshall?
Your name is Penny Marshall?
I don't know if you're talking about me, but my name is Connie Marshall. I was the last person that spoke, and I'm calling from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay. Sounds like to me you're living a nightmare. Now who are you saying, who are you saying that you say they are doing all of the intercepting your phone calls and everything else and just making your life miserable? Who are you talking about? Because I just called in, like I just tuned in, so I didn't hear you from the beginning.
In my case, it's federal, state, and city. It's all three. It's basically a cover-up.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to my FBI, I've been to my police, I've been to my state police, I've been to my sheriff's office, I've been to all of them. But if I can back up a little bit and state that when I worked for Bluegrass Automotive, and I don't have to bite my tongue because they tried to give me a little minuscule settlement that I did not take. When I worked there, I was assaulted by a guy by the name of Tyler Stone, who was in a group with a guy with the last name of Mark Yates. I have Yates on this CD discussing killing me, taking me to the KK. I have the actual CD that I can share on my website. Taking me to the KKK, how he wants to ballpark a nigger, and a list I've been placed on. And once you get on this list, all the money in the world won't save me. Now, his last name is Yates. I could not get any assistance from anybody here, federal, state, or otherwise, but I found out we do have an assistant deputy sheriff by the last name of Yates. We also had a United States attorney in Louisville, Kentucky, by the last name of Yates. So I think there's a little nepotism thing going on here. I even tried to talk to police officers. One of them was Danny Lawless, who stated I was redlined, and I tried to report him because I think he may be the same police officer that told my daughter that she needed to take a MIW out on me. I have mental problems, never had any mental problems. My daughter told them she wasn't going to do it. Now she's a victim. I'm finding Danny Lawless, that last name is the last name of one of our United States attorneys also. We have a Joe Lawless who's a United States attorney, and the list goes on.
Okay. And you also said that when you go to the bathroom, you feel something wiggling in your butt or your vagina. Well, what are you talking about there? What is that?
I hate to be graphic, but what I'm telling you is they don't spare us in any private moments. A lot of us are monitored in our homes 24 hours a day. A lot of us get sexually assaulted constantly. And when I say wiggle my butt, I can go to the bathroom. And I was a former mayoral candidate, and you'll find my name you'll find me on the internet quite a bit, and I have not changed my story. I can go to the bathroom and sit on the toilet, and to let me know they're watching me, they'll wiggle my butt. I can get in the bathtub, the same thing. They will make muscle spasms in my vagina. They will make tingling things in my vagina. They do those things. There's another lady here named Marie Muhammad. The same thing is done to her. She just doesn't speak out about it. And there's another lady now named Elizabeth, and I won't give her last name because she's in the hospital very, very ill because of being assaulted. So they will assault you sexually. They will assault your heart. They will assault you in any possible way that they feel like they want to. They can make you fall down, all of these things. We're talking about military weapons.
Okay, Connie.
Okay. All y'all part of some organization? Are y'all had some organization or something like that where all y'all had the same type of goings on in your life? Are you in an organization?
As I stated, you can go to remember I mentioned the Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethical Issues? That's a commission that was put together by President Obama. And a lot of us went to a meeting in Washington on March the 1st. Now, you don't have to believe us. Just go to their website, which is http://bioethics.gov. You're going to click on March the 1st. You're going to click on videos, and you're going to click on comments number 10. And you won't only see me, you will see people across the United States that went to this meeting complaining about the same things.
That's why I said.
Okay. 1335, do you have a question? 1335?
Trying to get on the website.
Okay. Let's move up to 7006.
Yes, thank you, Brother Ramazoos.
Yes.
To the panel, especially the sister, Miss Connie Marshall, thank you, ma'am, for your commentary, your testimony regarding what's going on. Ma'am, there's a doctor. His name is Dr. Delbert Blair. I don't know if you're aware of him, but he has some products and equipment that may assist you in what you're going through. Are you familiar with him?
No, I'm not. I would like to get that information, his contact information.
Good, Ms. Marshall. Sister Elvira, who helped put this program together, has that information. If you can connect with her, she should be able to provide you as well as some of the other members of the panel with that information, so you can access him and see or whatever way that he can help you all with what you're going through.
Thank you.
But you're very welcome. But I want to end on this, Brother Ramazoos. I'm not surprised by the testimonies that I've heard from the panel. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us years ago that this was going to happen, and there's a plan called the King Alfred Plan, and it's in full effect, and they are all participating in it. Like the sister said, on the city, state, and federal level. This is how they are shutting down in order to totally affect the King Alfred Plan to put us in a state of solitary servitude like Hitler was planning in Nazi Germany. So I hope that you access Dr. Blair and see how he can assist you. But I thank you all for coming on the program and alerting us to what y'all been going through individually. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
go to 2251. 2251. Okay, we'll move on. 7595. 7595. Question, comment? Okay, let's move on. 9337. 9337. Question, comment? Okay, let's move on. 5631. 5631.
I'm one of the panel. This is Bobby.
Okay, great. 8233. 8233. Question, comment?
Well, yes. High-level intergalactic divine universal one love greetings. I am Angela Del Philly, a.k.a. I'm BB, etc. all. And to give to you the Honorable Dr. Delbert Blair, I was listening to him tonight, and I don't know if he's joined us yet, but nonetheless, he said that his webpage will be only in effect for the next 48 hours. He will be offline for a while because he's updating his webpage. His webpage number or URL is or if you will, www.themeta, M-E-T-A, M as in mother, E as in Edward, T as in Tom, A as in Apple. Again, I'll repeat that, www.themetacenter, C-E-N-T-E-R, 2.com. His call number that you can call him is 1708-422-6685. That again is 1708-422-6685. After, I think he said Sunday or several days, his webpage will be down, but it will be back up. He's just making some other function. Now, those persons, it was a minister, I think I heard him say that something was coming through a window. Well, I would ask that you look to see if you have any overhead transformers. They sometimes look like trash cans on the pole.
Yeah.
Those can be, you do have those in your window, near your window?
or across the street or behind your home? I've noticed a lot of single homes. You have a single home?
Yes.
And sometimes they're in the rear. I noticed in New Jersey sometimes they're not on the front streets, they're in the back of the homes. These electrical transformers, they're either underground or overhead, sir. So I know if you have electricity, you have them, period. And you have transmission cables in the ground, that's infrastructure. The water pipe, all of these variables, yes, are being manipulated. If there's a lot of demolition or construction going on, it's causing a lot of water pipe explosions. For you to move from Chicago to Texas, were you affected by any of the hurricanes and tornadoes that most recently happened within the past several years, and most emphatically this year already?
It's funny you said that because I had a meeting with Derek last week and with some of the other members. That day that had happened, the tornado, I guess I missed the tornado by 45 minutes. I mean, I went right through it when it was on right through where they were showing it on the news and everything, how it picked up a semi and put it on top of a bunch of other semi. I was out recycling metal at that time and didn't even know that there was a tornado, but we haven't got touched by it, but I was right there in the midst of it.
Walk to that park up here, that moving couples park, and she couldn't do the walk back. My mom's side here.
But your question is your question, can you clarify your question for me?
The overhead transformers, electricity transformers that you can see, if you cannot see them, they're underground, especially if you have electricity. How would you have moved from Chicago? I don't know what's going on with the phone, but why would you move from Chicago to Texas?
Hold up for a second. Everybody hold up for a second. I'm trying to isolate where the noise is coming from. Okay? And what I'll do is open the lines one at a time. Got a maximum of feedback. And I would suspect that anything we're doing right now is just status quo for them.
There's a heavy echo.
Yeah. Somebody is either near their computer with the phone line open.
At my old house, there was a transformer in my backyard, and now here at my new house here in Texas, there's no visual one that's outside my window. No.
So it may be underground.
It must be underground because I do not see one out there.
Or you may not have looked for it. Sometimes, you may be watching it all the time and don't pay attention to it.
Right.
So these are some of the variables that they're using, but the other variable I would think, I wouldn't call the police for anything. All of them are involved. They're being trained to do this. This is why most of them belong in the armed services. They're not being deprogrammed to kill or be killed. And they're part of the problem. The CIA, all up in the Afghanistan, they're the ones through George H.W. Bush who were given the name to the Taliban that were supposed to keep the Russians out of Afghanistan. And now look at, and George W. Bush gives them up to each year for the past 10 years, as it was reported, $43 million every year. And that is in violation to what President Clinton had put out in December of 2000. But nonetheless, what I'm trying to say here is, at best, I don't know why you would call the police the CIA and the like. I would think that what needs to be done is documentation, and the other variable is to not have fear, because the fear factor is what makes these degenerates act the way they do. They are degenerates.
Okay,
and,
we got to wrap up because we got to go to the next
call.
Oh,
okay. That's all for now. I would have to report, but I don't understand why you would go to the very mouth of the problem. And the intergalactic, interdimensional variables. Some of the very people you may know and speak to every day are the ones that's doing the interdimensional variable to make you have fear. But this is going to be rectified.
Thank you. All right, let's go to 4134. 4134. Okay, 4134, last chance. Okay, let's go to 4309. 4309.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
continue, please.
Yes, much love and much respect. I want to give a special blessing to the mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and their warring factions, for they are the true inheritors of Mother Earth's precious resources in 2012 and going forward, no matter where we are. TIs, targeted individuals. That's what the discussion is supposed to be about, and how to get a redress, some reciprocity, some retribution, some reparations, and a remedy to those people who are being targeted. I want to give special thanks and honor to our brilliant heroes and heroes who shed blood, sweat, and tear equity into what we have now for us to get some justice. And the legacy of a nation is the greatest communication network on this nation's soil, the United States of America, the legacy of a nation. And I want to do this African commercial so that all those in the sector who are online and in law to contact the legacy of a nation, and you can do it by email from all the sectors, because this is so important. They're on 6 nights a week, and we're now at the end game, and we all need each other now. So time is a terrible thing to waste. So I need to do this commercial first and foremost, so that all those people who are in the sectors, in the communications network, and in their what we call municipalities, where the sheriffs live, because whoever is the panelist, I need you to speak to the issue of the sheriffs. But the first thing is that we are in the right place at the right time in the right season for the right reason. So 1-661-554-9123. All those who are in this country, from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, email, text, do anything you can in the communications network to get everybody who you love to be in line, in law, and everybody get in where they fit in, whether they're old, young, gay, straight, alike, black, brown, red, yellow, and white. That the legacy of a nation is here to end all confrontation amongst the human family, and it starts with the discussion that we're having now. So I want to give special thanks to 661-554-9123, those who have a pencil. And I want to also let you know that my name is Mandela Khan, and I'm speaking from the PAIN, the Pan-African Intelligence Network, which defeated the FBI-ADA, the CIA-ADA, the Al-Qaeda, and the Al-Qaeda. And when you hear me say about Al-Qaeda, I'm speaking to the corporations and the foreign governments who trespassed and violated the equal protection under the law and due process of the American citizens. So it's important for us to understand that we have protocol and a rite of passage that everybody who knows from their past transgressions how we get in where we fit in. So I want to give a special thanks to Queen Mother Elvira, who has the Pan-African Intelligence Network, has authorized that she is the Queen Mother of the Airways for bringing more mothers than has ever consistently for this night came to the Legacy of Nations and presented a personal testimony of T.I., targeted individuals. And we can prove that there are target people, nations, lands, and creeds from the African and indigenous people that are targeted because of one reason. But that's not the issue. The main issue is that Sister Elvira has brought forth all the people who are suffering hardship, crisis, state of emergency, and there's a redress to that. And I want to give her props. And this Legacy of the Nation must understand that this is being spoken to by other people outside the context of Philadelphia, Chester, Camden, and Philadelphia. But because that we have professionals from a variety or plethora of different degrees and learning or religious creeds and constitutions, we know that the common law court has been restalled. The Legacy of the Nation knows this. And this is not a time for that. But the good thing is that we have two things that is important for right now.